Does this look familiar to you? Romantically clinging to your bed on weekends? Yeah? Okay. And this? Raise of hands. Okay, okay. Dozing off on exam nights? Yeah? Slacking off on bunk days and seeing all these TV show on the pretext of watching just one more episode, right? We are all guilty of that, yeah? Now, you might be thinking, who the hell is this guy standing on the stage making us see these weird gifs about how we spend our free time? Well, hello. Hi. I'm Arihant. I am an alumnus of this college, and today I want to talk to you about something I wish someone had told me when I first entered college, or for that matter, when I was entering 11th grade, which is, not very surprisingly, to get out of lazy hostel bed. Now, picture this. I'm in 8th semester, my head is bent over my examination sheet, and I'm sweating profusely because I cannot remember anything because I haven't studied anything. And I have reached the threshold level. I cannot feel more stressed anymore. And I've even asked myself the existential question of what my purpose in life is with no answers coming back. And I then go completely blank. I cannot think of anything for some time. And after some time, I flip my answer booklet and I come to the last page and I scribble something. And before you know it, some days have passed and a couple of professors from my department have summoned me in their office because I have scribbled a couple of poems on the paper which they misinterpreted because they're electronics and communication teachers, professors, not literatures, which is fine. But looking in retrospect, this was a very intense, also a little bit hilarious experience, but it had a tinge of regret with it. So regrets, right, they are like unwanted paperweights on the table. They let you down when you do not want them to. And unfortunately, I have many regrets from college, but the biggest one of them is that I wasted so much time. Now, I thought it would be interesting to see what other people say when asked what their greatest regrets from college are or is. And these are some of the answers that I got back. The place where I went to was a mind-numbing place with zero focus on development and grooming for the real world. A little harsh, right? I wish I had gone to a college where there was more exposure and better hardware access. I wish I had studied more. I had maintained a good CGPI instead of blindly following seniors' advice that these things don't matter. I had spent more time with my friends, or I wish I had talked to more people in the first place, tried too hard to fit in and didn't challenge myself enough and didn't talk to the boy or the girl that I liked. And there were some people who really said that they didn't have any regrets, which was very surprising to me at first, but they really didn't. And if you think, some of the sources of these regrets are beyond our control. For example, it's very difficult to get an accurate picture of careers because when we are done with our 12th grade, we hardly have tried any options, and we are suddenly expected to choose a thing that is going to affect our whole life without trying out options. That is a little bonkers if you ask me. And on top of that, people keep asking you, what do you want to do in life? What are your next plans? As if they would poke an insect just to see what it does. Because it's such a straightforward conversation opener, people think they have to have an answer. But how could we? Now, when the options are realized late, for example, this was realized when I graduated, we're like, I didn't realize that was an option, and we jump onto it, right? And there are many more. For example, we do not have an option to switch our majors by trying different subjects of different streams. And sometimes it's very difficult to make our parents understand something because they are misguided or misinformed about something, or they are simply overprotective for us. But there are some things which are in our control, but we sort of passively let go of. These are some of the things that I learned the hard way. College gives you an illusion that there is endless time, and because of that, a consequence happens that you start worrying less and less about the things, anything. And what it really is, a time bomb waiting to explode. Your assignments aren't challenging enough, so you resort to copy pasting, or most of your marks are constituted in your final exams, so last night or last week preparations suffices. And there are many activities that keep you engaged in the rest of the time. The consequence of these inactions and false prioritization gives rise to regrets like a pile of clothes going over and over on a hostel chair, right? And the only way out I know of from this is to accept wherever you are, no matter if you are third year, no matter if you are in final year, you have done anything before or you haven't done anything before, doesn't matter. Accept where you are and start working on the things that interest you. Doesn't matter if they are relevant or not relevant. If they are interesting to you, just pick it up. Just pick up 1 month. Give yourself 1 month and pick up a project which is challenging but doable in a month's time. Take an edX or Coursera course. Work on your spoken word skills, or try to find what are your passive sources of income, or you could master a chunk of material of a subject which you really like. And if one project falls in your face, start another one, and then another one, and then another one, until it becomes a habit. And mind you, it will take a lot of time to become a habit, because and why do I insist to make it a habit is because inspiration and motivation are very short-termed. They wither out as the time passes, but habits stay. Treat your academics as a day job. When you're done at 5, you put things to practice. Right now, think of that one thing that you will regret if you were to graduate right now walking out of this auditorium. And jump on it. It's as easy as that. And doing a day job does not mean that you have to do it poorly. It simply means not defined by it, not being defined by it. Stop making rigid plans, and I'll explain this with an example. So, a friend and a brilliant person, Harsh Snehanshu, got his degree in engineering physics. Then he went to a YIF scholarship, which is a liberal arts scholarship. Then he went to Paris on an exchange program for to study travel journalism. Then he traveled across India with shoestring budget, with minimum budget. Then he joined a startup called Frankly.me, which did very well for a while, but then withered out. Then he started his own startup, flatabout.com, and then he failed. Then he started another, whereabout.com, he failed. And then he started and stumbled upon something which he calls Yorkut now, and it is very successful, backed by tech giants. It has more than 1 lakh active users on it. And that's really amazing, right? So, meet Adarsh and Arpit here. They were my batchmates, and some of you might know that they have started one of India's largest tech websites called Frostbites. They didn't sit for any placements because an idea that they had started in final year had started to take shape. And it's been 2.5 years now, and they are still working on it, growing on it, and they are happy doing it. So my point is that in this fast-paced life, when something that you are doing right now may become obsolete later, it is always a good point to have your options open. Find smart people to work with. And I cannot stress this enough. You are not going to get as good bunch of friends that you get in this college. So why not leverage that time and work on each other's ideas, like Nancy and Pooja did with Anthill. Find relevant problems to solve. How many of you here, perhaps third year and final year students who have interned or have applied for internships, know about internfield.com? By the raise of hands or a shout? Yeah? Some of you? Okay. Did you know that it was started by one of my mechanical batchmates who had a very bad internship experience, and he wanted to do something which would help other people out to not have that experience again. So he started curating other people's internship experiences and start putting them online. He had a problem that he felt relevant and he cared about, and then he sought out a solution. When I graduated out of this college, I felt an urgent need to build up an alumni system for the reasons that are worthy of another talk, but I started working on a framework that could be open sourced and that anybody could use, any university, any college out there for free, and build up their alumni system. I care about a problem and then I'm working on it. Be curious about things and not passionate about it. I do not understand when people say they do not have any passion for anything. Passion is not a job or a hobby. It is something, it is the full force of your attention into anything that is right in front of you. And passions, like feeling, change. A better word for passion is curiosity. Pranav is my batchmate, and he came to his room once and he wanted to see what his results were on the website, and he started feeling curious about what would happen if instead of the roll number he started inputting gibberish in the text field. And by doing this, he sought out a vulnerability in the database that the results were stored in, and he hacked it 2 days later just because he was curious about it and he acted on it. This is a font made entirely of programming, and I wanted to use it on the cover page of our magazine, Srijan. I tried to make it for about a week and then I gave up. But in one of the interviews, I sort of leveraged this fact that I had worked on it, despite the fact that I didn't know any conventional programming language, and this got me in. Just for being curious, I was selected, which is crazy. Beware of genius. Now, the people who get things to work exhibit something that might be understandable simply as something innate genius. Now, they do not, most of the time what they do is just do and work on the things that they want to. Now, this might be a very uncomfortable thought for many of us, because think about it. If what they do are only able to do just because they have some innate Einstein-ness or Shakespeare-ness in them, then it's not our fault that we cannot do as good as they do. I'm not saying that there is no such thing as genius. I'm just saying that if there are two theories and one of them gives you an excuse to be lazy, the other one is probably right. Talk to people. One of the most preposterous reasons that I have got, I have heard from people for not talking to other people is that, Arihant, I do not really know him or her, or could you please go out there and ask something on my behalf? Which is laughable, right? Just introduce yourself to whoever you want to talk to. It's not really difficult. And for example, you should leverage this opportunity. So many brilliant people have come on the stage and shared their ideas and research and what they do with you. Leverage that fact and talk to them. Give your share of ideas to them. Give your time to them, and perhaps even exchange numbers if you are intrigued by something so much. Let me tell you something. Let's do a rampage introduction session right here. Can I ask everybody to please stand up? Quickly, quickly. Stand up, just stand up. When I say now, what you have to do is give fist bumps to each other, introduce yourself by telling your name, and that it's very nice to be sitting beside them in all the 4 directions, mind you. You have 30 seconds, right? Ready? Yeah? Now. All the 4 directions, mind you. Come on, we are in friends among here. Nobody's judging you. All right. Sit down, sit down. That was fun. See, that was as easy as that. Did anybody have that weird fist bump? And yeah? That's fun, that's fun. See, it's that easy. Don't disregard unseemly motivations. Whether you want to be better than somebody, or you want to do something audacious, or you want to do something that is not supposed of you, or that is not expected of you, these all are very legitimate reasons to get something to work, right? To get you out of your bed. Anything that does that is a legitimate reason. By all means, use that. Whether you're feeling shy or unmotivated, or whether you have low self-worth about yourself, know that there is enough time to work on the lack that you think that you have. And one of the biggest gifts that you can give to yourself right here, right now, is to not give up. And not be intimidated by a very limited sense of competition. There are other opportunities out of here, right? Don't you feel responsible to explore each and every one of them before giving yourself up? Just do what you have started, right? Give yourself incentives if you have to. For example, I gifted myself laptop stickers for finishing a side project that had been lingering for a long time. Use anything that keeps you working and get going. Get out of your college if you have to. I met 2014 pass out, computer science pass out. His name is Manik Karol. He was working with housing.com at that time. And he shared with me an experience that when he was in final year, there used to be field trips for CSE students as well. And he had to fight against his entire class just to take them to Bangalore instead of somewhere that was much closer. And he says that he does not regret it at all because everybody learned so much of that trip. Get out of your college if you have to, and you should. As one of my favorite poets, Maya Angelou, once said, as long as you are breathing, it's never too late to do something good. And just be Batman, right? Own up to your responsibilities. Take your own responsibilities. Find that chunk of time, small chunk of time that you would invest in yourself that would slowly start making you more valuable. And when you will start doing this, you will find that you will have to make trade-offs, right? You will have to make trade-offs. You will have a bunch of friends waiting for you, but you cannot go. You cannot play basketball. Oh shit! And you have to make trade-offs because it's ultimately your choice. And you will also find that it will not be able to be possible to keep everybody happy. At any point of time, there will be somebody who will be not happy by what you do or how you are with them. It's completely fine, right? Just get up, do what you want to do. If you do not know what you want to do, figure out. There's plenty of time. If I can do it, anybody can. And I was the laziest person I knew in college. Just do it. Thank you.